everyone, Meg Loves Games here, and welcome back to another Sims 3 base game build. This one is a little bit different from the first two. I really wanted to kind of go a bit wild with colours and shapes and things like that. So I made this, which I am referring to now as the Portal House, and you'll probably see why very, very quickly. It reminds me structurally a little bit of one of the builds I did very early on in my YouTube career, I suppose. It was called Cabin Fever. It was Cabin Fever Part 2, and it has this kind of wooden wraparound bit, which this has got, but the building as a whole looks completely different, and there's different features that kind of change the way it looks in terms of like the wraparound bit and such. So I was kind of drawing from that, but at the same time I was doing something completely different. So yeah, I really like it. I wanted to mess around with colour because God knows in the first two we haven't really messed around with colour or shape really that much. They've been pretty square, which is perfectly fine, don't get me wrong. It's just that sometimes it's fun to build kind of lavish things as well, and I didn't want these base game builds to just be about really simple builds. I think you can still build like a bunch of good stuff in the Sims 3 base game, and I didn't want it to be like there was like nothing you could do with the base game and you had to build these box standard houses. I wanted to display an array of houses, I suppose, is probably the best way to describe it. I mean, I do that all the time. I like to build modern things and I like to build traditional things. Whether or not I'm good at traditional things is another thing altogether. But I do love to build just in general, and no matter what the style, I'm all for it. So yeah, this is it's East Beach Avenue in the world of Finnington. I should probably put a little post on my blog about the world itself and where you can get that, because they all fit in nicely there, and I'm kind of using different areas to try out different styles so that they don't it doesn't kind of look like this weird combined sense of all these different things. So yeah, and then here we go, adding in the colours. This beautiful orange, which I started off with, and I'm like, I want another colour, but I don't know what will quite work with it. And then I go in to create a style, and then the first thing that works with it is the portal teal. It's the portal teal. So Portal House from the outside, pretty much. I do like it. I mean, if you haven't seen Portal, it still comes across as a nice looking house, I reckon. Didn't know quite what to do with the roof up there, but I think leaving it white is probably the best option. Not that it would remain relatively white if it were in real life, because real life isn't that nice to white things. Basically. And yeah, that's the basic structure of the house. So we're now about to move on to the interior, which I actually really love the interior. Again, with the base game, it's very hard to decorate because there's not very much wall in terms of wall hangings, and you've really got to mess around with colour and textures and things like that. So it's a challenge, but it's also kind of fun. And in the next couple of builds, you'll see that too, because I've been working on my next build. Well, I believe it will be my next build. It depends on everybody else who is involved. I'm doing a collaboration, which is awesome. It's good to know that I can still do Sims 3 collaborations with folks in the community, and they're not all like obsessed with The Sims 4 and such. So yeah, I like that, and I told them it was a base game build, and they were like, yeah, that sounds good. So that should be coming soon. I don't know how long it's going to take for both the people involved to get finished, but hopefully it should be good. And yeah, so this is a little bathroom. I just wanted a little space downstairs for a bathroom, because most places do have a downstairs bathroom, and we end up having quite a few spaces for bedrooms. I only use 2 of them as bedrooms, There's you could turn another one into a third bedroom. So yeah, so I wanted to make sure that there was enough room for them to use the toilet, you know. Just fun things. And yeah, I did something odd with the wallpaper. Instead of doing like the actual color of the walls in the colorful bit, I decided to do like the edging and the skirting and the pictorials and such in that color, and I thought it made for a nice change. It was different, and I liked that. Nothing wrong with liking something different. That's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, the kitchen, obviously we tied in some green there, and now tying in some green in the dining room. And then we move on to adding some it's kind of like a sherbet pink, I suppose. I wouldn't really know how to define it, but I get some patterns going and it looks really nice. Yeah, it's kind of like almost a coral pink, but not quite corally enough to call it coral, if that makes sense. But it's a really nice pink, and it goes really nicely with the kind of pear green that we've got going on. So I am perfectly happy with that. And yeah, then I kind of wanted to tie the colours together on a rug, but it didn't really work, so I ended up using the green and a slightly lighter shade of green as well. Just because it looked a little bit better than this weird drumstick looking. Have you ever had those sweets in the UK? There's a like a kind of like a lollipop made of like a chew, if that makes sense. Called a drumstick, and it tastes amazing, and it kind of reminds me of the one of the flavours of drumstick. I don't think it's the original flavour, because that was raspberry and milk, but I can't remember what the second flavour is. Oh well, guess we'll never know. And then upstairs, here are the bedrooms that we have, using the same wallpaper in the hallway with the green skirting and such. But in the other rooms we kind of diverge, I suppose, and go with some, I don't know, slightly more conventional styles of wall covering. I'm calling them conventional. They're not particularly conventional, you know. And I think the first room we do up here is the second bathroom. Now this one's got a bathtub in, which is good. I end up using the colours from downstairs in this room, mainly because I had them written down. Like, sometimes I note down hex values for things so that I can just easily pull them in. It makes creator style a little bit easier, and is a tip that I would suggest. I always have note cards by my desk anyway, because I was meant to study with them, but I end up using them for like noting down stuff while I'm recording. But post-it notes would work, anything. It's a great thing to have just on your desk so that you can make notes when you're doing stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend that. And then this room, you can see this kind of, it looks to me a lot like sound waves on the wall, which I really like. And then I wanted to use the kind of the turquoise from that and turn it into like the main colour of the room. And since we had all these bookcases over there, I kind of wanted like a desk of sorts in the room too, but there wasn't really much room for it, so I kind of tucked it into the table, and not the table, tucked it into the dresser, and it fits quite nicely, especially when they've got the same wood going on. It feels a lot more like it's meant to be one thing, so that's good. I really like the way that one turned out. We then work on the second bedroom, which is a room for twins, or, wow, it's a twin bedroom, doesn't have to be 4 twins. I do my wonderful technique of, with twin rooms, doing 2 different patterns in the same colour scheme. It's something that I kind of grew up doing, like, not in The Sims. I mean, in real life, we used to get, me and my 2 sisters are kind of about 16 months apart in age, so just over a year difference. Molly was born in November 99, and Maisie was born in August 2001. And, yeah, oh, it might be 21 months, I can't even remember. But yeah, they always shared a bedroom, and they, the bed linen they had was always similar but not quite the same. We used to buy these sets that had the same theme but looked different. So I guess that's where I got my love of twin rooms like that, I suppose. I guess a lot of people's taste comes from what they grew up with as well. I mean, I didn't grow up with like crazy bright colours. My room was purple with loads of stripes in it, which was cool. My mum has always been really good at decorating houses, so I've always grown up with a really nicely decorated house. And if I don't do a very good job of my house when I'm older, I will enlist her skills. Anyway, this room here is kind of like a little artist studio place, because I imagine an artistic family to kind of live here. It's not really the most conventional of houses, so you got to try and fit it with the people that you would put in here. So yeah, and I decided to use the wallpaper that I did. You can't see it now because I'm working on the outside, but I chose to use the wallpaper I did because it looked a bit like paint dripping. So yeah, I was kind of trying to tie in the artistry kind of thing, you know. It worked out pretty nicely, I think, anyway. And I was just doing a little bit of terrain shaping. I didn't want to do too much, but I popped a tree on one of the smaller hills, and here are the pictures. So yeah, I will have the download link to the house, as always, in the description below. I think it's really nice, and I think if you're after a kind of modern style house, which is a little bit different, and it's got enough room for quite a few Sims, then this is actually a perfect little house for you. The next one coming up is also kind of modern. If this is the collab we're talking about, it might not be done in time, but the next one coming up is kind of modern too. So yeah, just hold out for that one. There's more traditional ones coming too. I have one built. I just wanted to kind of change it up a little bit and yeah, vary things. But anyways, I hope you liked this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you want to keep up with all my builds, be sure to subscribe, and thank you very, very much for watching.